who go first? Do I go first or?
Okay. Is this question for you? Like the one that I have is the one that I answer or that I make the question?
I can go first.
Okay, perfect.
What's your definition of happiness?
Being at peace with myself, knowing myself, and accepting myself as honest as I can be. That's happiness to me.
I think for me, it will be family.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have much to say,
No,
but I
family
think
is
your
happiness.
family is
Yeah,
like.
family is happiness.
Mhm.
That's for sure. If you could have 1 hour of honest conversation with anyone, who would you choose to talk to and what would you ask them?
I think I will choose to talk with my grandma again, and I will just ask her how did she was kind of like so supportive of my mom without feeling like it was her pure responsibility.
Mm,
So more like an advice. I will ask for advice.
for advice, oh, that's beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, in my case, I would say my father. I would squeeze the juice out of him in 1 hour for sure because he died when I was really little, and he took some decisions that I would love for him to explain honesty. Why did he take them? And why did he put war first family before family? So I would do that. Yeah. What's the best piece of advice that you have ever received?
I think it's more like more than the best, it's more the most meaningful to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also linked to my grandma that she passed away after like 4 months after I came to Canada. So I wasn't able to see her like again in person. So, but I do remember the last time that I saw her, and it was very simple, just like take care of yourself. Um, I don't know, that's something that is very meaningful for me, and I even I haven't forgotten the picture of that moment when she told me that. So it's very precious for me.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah.
What about you?
For me, oh, advice. Uh, okay, so what I'm gonna do because I divide myself like in different kind of like personalities, let's say like that, let's say it like that. I am a social service worker and I am a musician, singer-songwriter. So I'm gonna go a little bit to the social work part. And I remember a friend of mine, colleague, told me one day, always err on the side of the client.
Mm.
And I will never forget that.
What's the most important piece of advice you can give to anyone who is thinking of moving to Hamilton?
Oh, thinking to moving to Hamilton, the
Yeah.
best piece of advice. Uh, Sink in. Like, Hamilton is a beautiful city. Many people uh, think that Hamilton is not a good city, etc., etc. But sink in. The food, the
Mhm.
music, the arts, the programs that are here. I brought my 2 kids in here, then they grew up in here, and beautiful programming. Um, so just deep, you know, get get into the waters of Hamilton, and Hamilton is gonna respond well to you. Yep.
Yeah, that's true. I would also say that don't pay attention to the people that say that Toronto is better because it's like obviously there's more activity, but Hamilton is a very good place to live, um, and it's just like as you say, like just wander around and just try to meet people,
For sure. Like
uh,
right now.
like right now.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, people are much more friendly than Toronto, for example. So and and go to Maria's Tortas. which is a
Ooh,
very good.
I heard. Yeah, I heard that they're really good.
You have to
Yeah.
go. Like it's a very good place
Okay.
to eat.
Perfect. Check.
Yeah. So that will be my advice.
All right.
Just,
So, can you share your favorite memory of an earlier time in Hamilton?
yeah, I think that I really like when I came as obviously started my PhD, and I had this friend that now is my partner, my boyfriend partner, and I've been living with him, and we now share a house, so everything is more stable economically. But I remember the first year when it wasn't that stable
Mhm.
because we were both struggling like students, and and I don't know, I really like this idea of like sometimes staying at his place in this basement, just sometimes like walking to everywhere because we didn't have like a car or anything. So I don't know. It was like, and I remember it was the first winter here in Canada, and there was like a like it was the harshest winter that I have experienced. And I remember that it was a storm and um, like a lot of snow and everything. And for 3 days we couldn't really leave the basement, so everything felt like we were in a cave.
Oh no.
But it was for me. It was like very precious. Sometimes I do. Sometimes when I smell things that remind me to something that has happened, it just I'm transported to that place.
Mhm.
So I have a lipstick that I used to wear a lot because it was winter, and every time that I smell it, it's just like I'm there, and it's just like so nice. Even though we didn't have as I don't know, like we weren't as stable as we are right now. I really I don't know. It feels like really nice to remember those days, like 5 years and a half ago when I
Wow.
the
Yeah.
first term that I was here. What about you?
Well, you know what? I do agree with you about the smells and
Mm-hmm.
the places too. I came here in 2004. My daughter
Mm-hmm.
was 4 years old. My son wasn't born, and I remember her being like a 4 year old, and we used to go to ESL classes, and um, and we had to pass by the farmers market, and there was a lady that sold like dinner rolls,
No.
and she always had a dinner roll for my daughter. I will
Oh.
never forget that. And I remember my daughter being she missed El Salvador and her cousins and so badly. So she decided to adopt this persona. She looked like Dora the Explorer.
Mm.
So she
Yeah.
adopted Dora for herself, and
Oh.
that was, I guess, like a way to cope with all the changes.
Mhm.
But the other thing that I agree with you, it's like somehow we had like a simple life,
Mhm.
like a simpler life
Yeah.
when you are coming here and then you're going through to the process of learning the culture, the language. Then year pass and then you pass through to a different stage, let's call it
Mhm.
like that. So it's different things like, kids are bigger, responsibilities are, you have more responsibilities, and things change, but there is that sweet taste of when you're a newcomer
Yeah.
that you will never forget. Yeah.
Yeah. It's also a new place, and
Mm-hmm.
like I was sharing this with my boyfriend partner, and that he was a little bit new also to Canada. He
Mm-hmm.
has been here for 2 years, really not that much. But as you say that you were sharing this with your husband and your daughter, so it's also nice that I think it must be difficult to like migrate alone, for example,
Mm-hmm.
without having those like people that
For sure.
kind of like went into the same journey as
Yeah.
you.
Imaginary or non-imaginary?
Oh
Because I
yeah.
remember, yeah, my daughter had an imaginary friend, and God
Uh-huh.
bless that friend. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Oh, okay, your turn.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, can you share a time when you experienced microaggression?
Oh, sorry.
Just one, just one.
Oh, microaggression, of course. So,
Mhm.
uh, Okay, so this is very interesting because when you come to a new country, somehow when you settle and you let's call it like when you go kind of like up in the society standards, um, when you have a little bit of power because of your job, power because of your own power empowerment, you speak the language, um, somehow the power imbalance goes like from here, like you being here, and then it comes here. But many people don't like that. So in terms of microaggressions, I have had from no, you look too fat to sing with this band to speak English, please.
Mhm.
I have had it as a musician. I have had it as a woman. I've had it as a social service worker. I've had it, you name it. Um, so yes, I have experienced microaggressions, but at the end of the day, I think it's very important. This I learned recently. I think it's very important that you address that at the moment
Mm.
with a cool brain, let's call it like that. Because before, my blood was like boom, and no, it's simply sometimes it's simply education. I have a friend, a very dear friend, that we were in a restaurant, and then there was somebody with a black hair, and then she said, "Oh, that Latina woman that is in there." She
Mhm.
wasn't Latina. She was Asian. So, and I said, "Well, do not stereotype. Well, not all Latinas, Latin American people have black hair, you know.
Mhm.
So it could be even something dear to you that needs some education or needs or because sometimes you just don't put up with it
Mhm.
because what is wrong is not okay. So it's until I am how old am I like I'm 47 that I learned how to point that and address it in a assertive way. Yeah.
And have you, sorry, this is a follow-up question.
Hmm.
Have you noticed like more or less like everyday microaggressions
Every
from
day.
when you came to now? Like, have you
um
noticed more
mm,
or less?
you know what, it's different because the microaggressions when I came was more um it was like a nice stage that you all everybody you meet is a newcomer, you're kind of like in the same boat, so you are not really introduced to the society
Mhm.
entirely. But when you are part of the society and then you start like let's say in the workforce and no, this person is going to take my job, this person is going to, and then when you start talking assertively, um that's when you start waking up a little bit of a lion, you know what I mean? So um I would say it's really important, like as I get older, I understand better what a microaggression is. Because at the beginning, I was like, I have no idea. Like people could say, "Go back to your country," and I would be mad, but
Mhm.
I would be like, "Oh, that's it." But now I understand, even in English, how a tone of voice, like a tone can change the whole. Oh,
Mhm.
even I don't know. I have been told like, "Hi, honey, how are you?" Even the way somebody can say hi honey or
Mhm.
darling, things like that. So as you learn a little bit of a little bit as you sink in into the society, then you learn the microaggressive ways that some people can have towards you. And like I said, you just address them right there assertively and with cold brain. That's what I that's what I would say. Yeah, sometimes who
Yeah.
cares, like you can be mad too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like yeah, I think in my experience, because I'm in the bubble of university, I haven't really experienced too much microaggressions, but I have noticed like, yeah, even sometimes in university, people will say like, "Oh, you're from Mexico, you don't look Mexican." So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know how I should answer to those kind of things. So
Mm-hmm.
As you say, like maybe like a couple of years before coming to Canada, I wouldn't say that that was a microaggression, but that's actually a microaggression. And just because, yeah, you have this in mind of what a Mexican should look like,
Mm-hmm.
and then everyone that doesn't fit that, you question
Mm-hmm.
that. And I guess that, yeah, in Hamilton, the other thing that I have experienced, but I have seen, I don't know if it's just me, but but this is after like everything that has happened with Trump in United States
Mm.
and how that's also influenced society here. Sometimes I have noticed how people look at me, like very like white people, like white, especially white men, look at me if I speak or something.
Mm.
Um, that is also like even though they don't say anything, they make you feel uncomfortable. So yeah, that happens. I know that has happened a lot with other of my friends.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
and you touch a good point because it's the accent as well.
yeah. Mhm.
Because if we look like we look,
Mhm.
but if you have an accent, that's a downer, right?
Mhm.
So, there is the different type, like the second generation immigrants. There is the newcomers. There is a total subculture within the immigrants in themselves, like, between us. So,
Mhm.
it's really interesting. What's your favorite non-sexual alone activity? That is so non-sexual alone activity. My
Ah.
favorite? What's your favorite?
I think walking with my dog
Mm-hmm.
and just like, yeah, walking with him. And in terms of like artistic activity, I would say hand printing. Like I have been learning how to do different hand printing techniques,
Mm-hmm.
and just going in the studio alone, just doing that by myself. That's also like very relaxing for me.
That's very
What
nice.
about you?
Me, I like walking and I like my hammock. Oh, I love it.
Mhm.
And I love to see the tree in my hammock. And that's it. Me and myself. An unsafe space for BIPOC people in Hamilton. Social media. I know it's not
Mhm.
only in Hamilton, but I would say social media is one of the unsafest places because it's so easy to backlash or uh, to be bullied. Yeah, and I'm not saying it for me only, but for youngest generations as well.
Mhm.
But Hamilton itself,
No, I don't. Like I can recognize some like very specific parts of like streets, but I don't want to generalize. The streets were like yeah, where like some people have like I have experienced what I was telling you. Like sometimes they look at you and they know that
hmm
because they hear you like speaking Spanish or your accent, and they look at you like I don't know, they hate you. Uh, but it's not like any spot in
no.
the city. So
You know what? I would say Hamilton is really diverse, and I feel
mhm,
really safe in Hamilton.
mhm,
However, I have gone to different cities,
mhm.
let's say like I don't know, like in places that I feel uncomfortable, especially in rural areas.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So let's say when
Uh-huh.
I go to Brantford,
Mhm.
I feel uncomfortable because I look different than everybody else. So that makes me feel like a little, or everybody, like somebody asking, "Oh, where are you from?" "Oh, you're Latina," and then
Mhm.
"Hola," and
Yeah.
then, all those
It's
things,
like,
right? So
bravo, you speak
because
Spanish.
yeah, so I had somebody who goes, "Hey, Dora's mom, come here,"
Oh.
and I no. So yeah, I would say like rural areas,
Yeah.
just because of the
Mhm.
lack of diversity. I would say,
Yeah,
yeah,
same. Yeah. Now is the opposite. Save a space for BIPOC artists in Hamilton.
I would say everywhere. I
Mm.
I'm sorry, but I do sing Spanish all the time, and
Mhm.
everywhere I sing, I have sang everywhere in Hamilton, and people welcome, like Hamiltoners welcome me. Um, I don't know if it would be. I have been St. Catherine's, same thing. Maybe because Latin American music is like La
Yeah.
Bamba and everybody dances,
And it's
but you know what
very
I mean.
welcome. Yeah.
But it's
Mhm.
people stereotype us like in the sense the music that I sing. But I have also, because I do have my own project, and Hamilton has been so welcoming to my own music, which is in Spanish as well, only one song in English. And uh, I feel safe in Hamilton, I would say. Yeah,
Yeah, same.
as a
Hmm.
BIPOC woman,
Artists or
artist, you
musician.
name it. Yeah, I feel
Hmm.
pretty safe. Um,
Yeah, same. I think that in the university is pretty safe because also like there's a lot of international students.
mhm.
Um, like also I have seen a lot of Latin American people like migrating to Hamilton. I
Yeah.
think the amount of people have grown up,
Mhm.
which that also kind of like makes me feel safer, like speaking Spanish in
Yeah,
my everyday activities. So there's a lot of like people from like different backgrounds. So that's. But I think that obviously personally I do feel very safe in Factory Media Center because I have been collaborating with them. Um, yeah, they like I haven't felt like weird
good
or
people.
anything.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, but you know what?
yeah,
We also have to talk about lateral violence because I think it's very important.
mhm,
Because even us between the Latin American community or any other BIPOC communities, we tend to put somebody that is darker
yeah, that's true.
or down, or so the fact that Hamilton is a diverse community, that doesn't mean that between BIPOC communities, we are not discriminating against each other. So I think that's really
Mhm.
important because it's not only the color, but it's only the class that you come from, even the immigration status that you come from, that plays a role.
Or how
Because
you migrated, also
it's
the
yeah.
reasons behind.
So
Yeah.
I know I have
Hmm.
seen people having hardly judged when somebody comes as a convention refugee versus somebody came because of family sponsorship or student, and um, I would say all those small things that we don't see within the BIPOC community was that it's called lateral violence are really latent, and that's something that we need to address. Yeah.
Yeah, there is obviously a big things with colorism in yeah, like Latin America. It just because we're from Latin America
Hmm.
context. And actually, that same question, like you don't look Mexican, it has also come from Latin American
I
people.
believe it.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
who is the most famous person you've met?
Famous person, Fidel Castro. Yeah, when I was little,
Oh,
such a, well, I grew
that
up in
was
Cuba.
shock. That's shocking.
I grew up in Cuba. So
Okay.
because the war and
Mhm.
so it was the 1980s, and I don't know if well, you may not remember the Chernobyl explosion, and so there were a lot of kids. So me as a kid, we were taken at the time to the Soviet Union embassy to sign a book of
Oh.
condolences. And then there was Fidel Castro there, and said, he asked me, where are you coming from? And says, from my house. So that was my answer. And yeah, that was my,
Oh,
yeah.
that's amazing. I cannot win you.
No.
Like the most famous person is like from RBD. I don't know if
Oh my
you
gosh, yes.
like Christopher.
Yeah.
You know the
Okay.
so I just saw him in the airport
Oh,
once.
no way.
But obviously your story is much better than mine.
Nah. No, it's perfect. I know RBD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, is that Chris? Yeah. But he was with his boyfriend. And I was like, oh.
Oh, cool. Nice. What's something that needs to change immediately in this city?
Yeah, the biggest kind of like thing around Canada actually is like also like the housing problem
Yeah.
because everything is just like super expensive. And you see a lot of buildings like coming like popping up like popcorns.
Yeah.
But then the rent is the same, like it's very expensive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. We need to change encampments. We need to do
mhm,
something about it. Um, we need to find a way to build affordable housing.
mhm,
Um, Poverty is huge. Uh, do you know the rate of Ontario works right now, or Ontario Disability Support Program is not enough to survive. So we need to change that as well. So not only in Hamilton, but I would say in Ontario. Um, we need for
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
Yeah. Mental health also is
Mental
like
health is huge.
mhm,
Addictions,
mhm,
mental health, and right now I was reading. I work in within the Brantford area, but
mm,
so I was reading that only this past week there was around 19 overdoses, too fatal, too much, too many. Um, so we need to really work on that. There are so many things. When I came here to Canada, I was mesmerized about the amazing first world country that that received me. But when I started to do social work, social service work, I was surprised how third country or developing country bubble was within the big
mhm,
rich bubble. So those sub bubbles they need
mhm,
to disappear, and Hamilton has those sub bubbles really uh, latent. Like you can see them, right? You can just walk outside and you will see the
mhm,
tents. Something needs to be done about it. We need to work together because we need to adopt the thinking that is in my backyard. It's in my backyard problem. As a matter of fact, I belong to a Facebook group in which somebody was asking if we were okay to build tiny homes in our backyard.
mhm, mhm,
That may be something that we can do. It may be so many options,
mhm,
but it's not okay to see, for whatever reason it is, it's not okay to see people living on in tents winter, summer, fall, or spring. Is not okay. This is uh, this is a rich country, and it's not only that because no country should be have should have homeless individuals or families, but Canada, mm, yeah.
the mentality has to change because it's not just like it's a problem. It's a like a socio-political problem, and yeah, this idea of first war, third war, like it should be erased from society,
Mm.
and just like seeing like we have problems, and it's not that there's people without like access to water, and and obviously by the BIPOC community is the one that and people with mental um, problems are the ones that are suffering a lot. So I think yeah, the mentality has to change
I agree.
in general. So hi, I'm Jessica Rodriguez. So I'm from Mexico. Uruapan. Then I just migrated here 6 years ago. I plan to stay as long as I can. And I'm also an artist, and almost a professor. I almost finishing my PhD. So people there, you are invited to my defense. No, not true. You are not. Uh, but yeah, I'm an artist. I work with performance. I work with hand printing now, and with video. Yeah, I have an Instagram, but I don't really remember which is the name of my Instagram. So maybe you can look at the comments. And I'm also an influencer now.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm not an influencer. But you can look at my social media in the description. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Lil America. I was born in El Salvador and I came here to Canada in 2004, so it's been almost 20 years. I am a singer songwriter, I am a mother of two, and yeah, I am a worker. I am, you name it. So you wear so many hats. But as a singer songwriter, I can share my social media. It's Lil underscore America A, so double A. You will be able to see my music. My latest album is Courage Music Healing, and there are some songs that I did in a very difficult moment in my life that I had to take some time for myself and heal. So it's a group of songs that are really heartfelt and that they help me in my healing process. So that's my latest album, and I sing everywhere in Hamilton. So I know I'm gonna be at the Afrofest with a 10-piece salsa band called Kevola. I will be actually singing on August here on Agora Park. So I'm gonna be with my own project, singing my music. I will be at Barangas on the beach on July. Uh, I'm not sure which weekend, but I will be. Just check on the Barangas on the Beach website. So I'm gonna be there with Kevola, and I also sing with a trio. So we sing boleros, Latin music everywhere. So you are more than welcome. You will see me. I'm pretty sure you will see me somewhere there in Hamilton.